Welcome to the Slice Podcast, where I give you a slice of my life. I'm your host, Christopher Martinez, and today I'm just playing some Xbox. Got the headphones in, and I'm recording on my GoPro. So we're going to see how this goes out. So I'm just playing Halo 5, and I wanted to talk about a couple of things that I had on my mind recently. One of them being the Raiders. We're going to talk about football for a little bit. So I'm a Raider fan. I love the Raiders. I love watching football. I played football back in high school, and I did my fair share of Pop Warner from 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And I've been watching the Raiders, ever since I've been playing football. And this is Derek Carr's 6th season, I believe. 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, this is the 6th season. He's still a great quarterback for the Raiders, and we're struggling. We've got John Gruden for 9 more years. We've had lots of issues with players leaving. Like last season, we traded away Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack, which was the dumbest thing you could ever do, but that's because, we didn't have enough money to pay them because we decided to pay John Gruden and Derek Carr this extra money. Derek Carr got the bonus, but John Gruden is getting $10 million a year for 10 years. That's insane. But you know what? I think it might be worth it because we did good the first game of the season. We played the Broncos for the home opener for Monday Night Football some time back. But just this past Sunday, we played the Chiefs, and that was tragic. We had a great first quarter. It's kind of dumb to say. But, we had a great first quarter. It was 10-0. And then Patrick Mahomes, with his God powers, decided to throw up 4 touchdowns on us. And we were doomed. We couldn't score, but we didn't let them score for the rest of the half. Or for the next half. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. I will not deny him that status. But we could have stopped them. Our coverage sucked. That's why he was able to throw really long passes against us. That's why he was able to get those touchdowns. Our coverage sucks, and that's it. We were able to stop their run game, but besides that, we couldn't do anything. Our offense couldn't keep up either. We got great running backs. That new guy, Jacobs, he's great. Derek Carr's got some good receivers, but we just couldn't keep up. We couldn't. It was doomed. Ever since Patrick Mahomes threw those 4 touchdowns. In one quarter, the second quarter, one of them being in 7 seconds. It's ridiculous. But I don't know who we play next week. I forgot. But the Raiders don't have a home game for another 8 weeks, I think. One of them is in London against the Bears. But, not in Oakland. And this is the last season in Oakland before they move to Las Vegas. A lot of people are mad about that. I'm not really. Oakland, they've been there for 60 years. That's insane. And they have to share the baseball field. They have to share the field with the A's. I'm also a fan of the A's. The A's are doing pretty good. They have a chance of making the wild card. And I'm really excited. I haven't been keeping up as much as I do, but it's whatever. I can't wait to just watch more football. That's what I've been waiting for all year. Just killed a guy. I like Halo. Halo's fun. But anyways, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about some other stuff in a little bit. My final thoughts about the Raiders and just football in general. Patriots going to go to the Super Bowl again unless Patrick Mahomes does something. But, that's it. Patriots are going to be in the Super Bowl. They've been in every Super Bowl since Peyton Manning retired. That's insane. But you know what? They're good, and that's it. I think I'm done about football. Let's talk about some upcoming movies that I've been wanting to see. Recently, I've been rewatching Breaking Bad. I love Breaking Bad. I think it's the best show that I've ever seen. Steven Universe is my favorite show, but I think Breaking Bad is better than Steven Universe. I can say that something's better, but I enjoy something else more. Um, but Breaking Bad, I can't wait for the Breaking Bad movie called El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. It's I'm gonna just spoil it. Well, no, I'm not gonna spoil it because there's some people that haven't seen Breaking Bad. Anyways, it just takes place, I don't know, seconds after the season finale, I mean the series finale of Breaking Bad. And my girlfriend, she's trying to watch it because she wants to see the movie. So she's watching all Breaking Bad. It's on Netflix. Just go watch it. Fantastic show if you haven't. But rewatching it, I forgot how great of a show it is. I knew it was an amazing show when I first watched it. But it's been about 2 years since I've seen it. But my God, the thought and care that was put into each episode is amazing. It's just a great character study of the downfall of Walter White and him furthering his Heisenberg-esque character. He's just Bryan Cranston does an amazing job playing Walter White. I think he's won Emmys for it. And Aaron Paul, I think he won Emmys too. I mean, thank God, because Aaron Paul does a great job as Jesse Pinkman. But watching the show, I feel bad more for Jesse than Walter. I feel more for Jesse's character than Walter's character. Because I've learned to, look at movies and shows differently now. At first it was just, am I entertained? Now it's, how are the characters developed? And, is it shot well? Because, yeah, things can be entertaining, but gotta look at things more than just, is it entertaining? Is it a well-crafted show? And Breaking Bad is definitely well-crafted. I'm probably boring people by this. I don't care, though. I'm talking. This is my time. You don't want to listen, then don't listen. But this is my podcast. This is my podcast. This is the only college podcast you'll ever watch. How am I sure of that? Because I've checked. There's no other college podcast in the entire world. I'm the only one. And I'm the best one. And no one can be better than me because I'm the only one. I am the greatest podcast to ever be podcasted. The ego is strong with this one. Yes. But anyways, yeah, go watch Breaking Bad. It's a fantastic show. My controller got disconnected. Ten seconds of me staring at this freaking controller. I don't know. People say that, PlayStation's better because the controllers. But you can just plug an Android charger into an Xbox, into the controller with a dead set of batteries. And you don't even need to buy new batteries. It'll just run through that. The batteries I have right now are dead. And I've been doing this for a while. It's been a couple weeks since my batteries died, and hey, still working. Alright, another movie I'm excited for. something called The Lighthouse. It's an A24 film, and if you don't know, A24 makes the best movies ever because they're an independent. They're an independent film studio. So that means they make the best movies that get nominated for the best Oscars. No, in seriousness, I'm excited for the movie because I was talking to my friend about it. I have a friend that watches the same YouTubers I do, and he lives in the dorms with me. He's actually one of my roommates. But anyways, he told me, "Hey, have you heard about this movie called The Lighthouse coming out?" I said, "No, I can't believe I have heard of it." Showed me a trailer for it, and it's something I hate with A24 trailers, where you're never sure what the plot is exactly, because it's so vague. You're never sure what's happening. But all I can get from it is that it's about these people who are in a lighthouse, and they go insane from being alone, and it's just a downward spiral from there. And so far, I've heard it's really great. There's a YouTuber I watch called YMS, which stands for Your Movies Suck. And he said it's a masterpiece, and he gave it a 10 out of 10. And he doesn't give a lot of movies 10s. He's a very good critic when it comes to movies. He has a strict foundation for whether or not a movie is considered good or bad to him. He won't demean people for liking a movie, but then again, you should know if a movie's good or bad. But then again, it's subjective and you can't say that. Yada yada, I don't care. But that's one movie I'm excited for. Comes out in October. Comes out on October 18th. It's my sister's birthday. So anyways, The Lighthouse, I'm excited for that. Let's see what else. I wanted to see The Peanut Butter Falcon. That's something I wanted to see. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but it's about Shia LaBeouf. A kid with Down syndrome, I believe, runs away from a place that he's at, and he wants to become a wrestler. And Shia LaBeouf tries to help him out with that. And I just heard it's a really good, enjoyable movie. I only know of it because I saw a trailer for it as a commercial when I was watching the A's game. And I'm like, what? Shia's back? No way. I miss Shia. Shia's cool. I don't care what anyone says about him. He's just, he's a good actor. He did a good job in Fury. I enjoyed Fury a lot. Anyways, that's something I've been wanting to see for a while, but don't have the chance to, or I do, I just don't want to go. I prefer not to spend, I don't know. Don't listen to me. Don't pay attention to me. Just listen to my podcast so I can say stuff. It's just an outlet for me to say stuff, and that's it. What else am I excited for the rest of the year? What else do I want to see? Because I've only seen, 7 movies this year. Or 7 new releases this year. I'm not excited for It 2. I really don't care about It. It just doesn't seem appealing to me. And I don't really think I'm going to watch it. I didn't see the first one. I didn't see the second one. Everyone's raving about how good the second one is, but I just don't care. It just doesn't look appealing to me at all. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying I don't want to see it. I'm really excited for the new Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker, as it's being called. But the reason why I'm excited for that, why I was more excited for that than I was for Avengers Endgame, was because I don't know what they're going to do in The Rise of Skywalker. And it's going to be interesting what J.J. Abrams is going to do, since he directed The Force Awakens and Rian Johnson did The Last Jedi. The reason why J.J. Abrams didn't direct The Last Jedi, or whatever he wanted it to be, was because he didn't want to let the fans down. He felt that it had too much pressure. Hence why him and Kathleen Kennedy decided, let's make the first movie in this new trilogy familiar. So they decided to, you know, have it seem similar to A New Hope, but different. And I really enjoy The Force Awakens. I love Star Wars The Force Awakens. I don't like it more than A New Hope or Empire, but I still love it. It's my third favorite Star Wars movie. My favorite being A New Hope, the next being The Empire Strikes Back. People say Empire's the best, but I enjoy A New Hope more. It's just more enjoyable for me. But anyways, I felt Infinity War. Yeah, getting back to why I'm excited more for Star Wars than why I was excited for Star Wars more than Endgame. I felt Infinity War could have been a perfect ending, really. If that was the last movie in the MCU, then I wouldn't care. I'd be perfectly fine with it. Like the biggest cliffhanger that can't get answered. Like, just imagine this. Just imagine Infinity War with Ant-Man, Wasp, and Hawkeye. I don't care about Captain Marvel. I didn't like the Captain Marvel movie, but anyways, imagine Infinity War with those three added to it. Having more runtime, if it were 3 hours long, and Thanos still wins at the end, and when he is on this farm, he also gets snapped away. Just imagine that. But not only does he get snapped away, but the stones get snapped away as well. So there'd be no way to reverse it. But also, imagine this. Imagine Ant-Man trying to shrink down to the quantum realm, or before getting shrunk down to the quantum realm, to lift one of the stones out of the gauntlet and take it with him to the quantum realm so Thanos can't use it. So just imagine Scott and the Wasp getting stuck in there, in the quantum realm, and they can't use the time travel thing to escape, and so that kind of seals the fate. That kind of seals the deal. So if that were to happen, I don't know. That would have been a better ending if Infinity War was going to be the last MCU movie. Endgame isn't, but because there was Far From Home and Phase 4 was announced, and yeah, all that good stuff. But Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, is going to be like the last in this whole saga. There's not going to be any more trilogy movies anymore. This is how Disney wants to end it. And whether or not you like or dislike the new trilogy, you can just say that, the Disney doesn't count because it's fan fiction, basically. It's not George's idea. George conceived Star Wars. And I'm not saying whatever George says goes, and especially with the new trilogy. But there would be no Star Wars without George. So I feel like nothing could be as good as what George had conceived. He didn't direct the original trilogy. He only directed A New Hope, but he also had a big role in what goes in the Star Wars movies. I don't think he wrote Empire. People say he was least involved in Empire, but he had an integral role in writing it, as in what is the story gonna be. The original screenwriter had passed away, but he liked some of the concepts he had and just rewrote it in his, not just rewrote it in his words, but he had more things to add to it. So there's that. I had one of the lights turned on, but I didn't want it to mess with me, and I guess the sun's not over there anymore. So I don't think it should be bad to put the lights on. Let's see. Sound test, sound test. Can you hear me? I don't know, that might be better. Yeah, that's better. I don't know why I didn't do this in the first place. I'll still have the windows open, not the windows, the blinds. Also have the blinds open. Anyways, I was talking about Empire. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that on Empire. But likes new Star Wars, don't like new Star Wars. You can just say that it doesn't matter because George had written what he'd already wanted to write. George had finished Star Wars in his own views, as in he did the prequel trilogy, and that's all he wanted to do. Yeah, he wanted to do. He had ideas, and he wanted to do a sequel trilogy, but he was so beaten down by all the Star Wars fans complaining about the prequels, which I don't mind. I'm not gonna call them great movies. They're not nowhere near as good as the original trilogy, but they're good in their own rights. They're good as a Star Wars movie. Take it. The Phantom Menace is like the worst one of the prequel trilogy. But I wouldn't call it a bad movie. It's just not sloppy. It just doesn't know what it wants to be. Because there really isn't a main character. There isn't one person to identify yourself with, to relate yourself with. Every Star Wars movie has, the ones. There's Luke, Han, and Leia. But with the Phantom Menace, you got freaking Anakin, who doesn't come in until 30 minutes into the movie. 40 minutes, I don't know. You got Padme. You got Senator Amidala, who is Padme, but there's it's just a bodyguard or whatever. You got Qui-Gon, you got Obi-Wan. It's the numbers are similar closely, but it's the pacing of the movie. It's the structure of it. It's how it cuts from one scene to another. Yeah, it's the pacing. It's kind of bad, but I'm never bored by it. But I'm not gonna say I hate the prequel trilogy. But anyways, yeah, George was so beat down that he was like, I don't, why even do it if I'm just gonna get hated even more? Yeah, complain all you want. People still like them, and I'm pretty sure whoever's listening likes them too. Not just because they're good memes. That they make good memes. They're very memeable, but you can watch them as like, hey, this is the enjoyable movie and I like it. Good Star Wars movies, bad Star Wars movies, whatever they be, they're all Star Wars in the end. But that's not an excuse to say it's a bad movie. The Last Jedi, I can call a bad movie, but I don't hate it. But I'm talking about more Star Wars stuff for another day, another video that I plan on making, because I'm really excited for the Rise of Skywalker. My bad. But anyways, yeah. I'm not sure what other movies I'm really excited for the rest of the year. I mean, I saw the Steven Universe movie, loved it. That's all I wanted to see, really. Actually, one more thing I wanted to add to this whole Star Wars thing is that after The Last Jedi, what's gonna friggin' happen? It's not like ooh, what's gonna happen? I can't wait. It's what's gonna happen, because that was such a weird way to end everything for the movie, for the time being. And you know what? I just wanted to see it end. I just want to see how they want it to end. Do I think it's going to be good? Yeah. Do I think it's going to be bad? Not necessarily. Might be messy. It's not going to be perfect. They've had some mistakes with the Star Wars movies. Disney has, especially with Solo and Rogue One. The reshoots, no one agreeing on how it should be made, firing directors, hiring new ones. It's all crazy. And no one can say for sure whether or not they had a plan for the new sequel trilogy, just because, J.J. Abrams didn't direct the new trilogy, and people saying that it's so different from The Force Awakens, and like, how could they do this? How could they mess up J.J.'s vision? And wow, Rian Johnson is such a bad director, and how can he do this to The Force Awakens? But anyways, excited, and that's all I'm going to say for now. I had mentioned the MCU ending, which it's never going to, because Disney loves their money. But I do want to give my take on the Spider-Man thing. I found this out one day while I was at work over the summer. I just saw an Instagram post and it said, "Hey, Spider-Man's not in the MCU anymore because Disney and Sony couldn't come to a deal. And I'm like, what? What deal? What are you talking about? And this was after Far From Home made $1 billion at the box office. Note that it's the first Spider-Man movie to make $1 billion at the box office, which is weird because he's such a, well-known character that why hasn't he made $1 billion at the box office? But, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. The whole thing with Disney and Sony, this is what happened. Disney said, "Hey, Sony, I understand that we're making, 100% of the... I understand we're making 100% of the merchandise, toys and not video games. What video games has Spider-Man in it the past years? I don't know. I understand we're making 100% off of the merchandise of Spider-Man toys and cereal, like him putting faces of him on stuff. So can we get 50% of the box office?" And Sony's like, "No, bye." Which is, good for Sony because, Disney is trying to get so much power with everything. They're going to buy all the franchises. They're going to buy franchises and everything, yada yada. But Sony really thinks that they can do something with Spider-Man. With the Spider-Man that's been in the MCU for freaking 3 years. 4 years, you can say. 2016, 17, 18, 19. For 4 years, he's been in the MCU. Civil War, Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, and Far From Home. But people are trying to defend Sony. I'm not going to pick a side with this, though. I'm not going to say it's Disney's fault or Sony's fault or, who's to blame, because they're both to blame. Disney shouldn't have asked for more money if they make billions of dollars off of the merchandise. But if they're going to be making the movies, then don't you think they should at least get some of the money? But 50's too high, because Disney only makes 5% of the box office revenue on opening day. Everything else goes directly to Sony, even though Disney makes the movies. Sony just allows them to use the character, and that's it. But, what is Sony gonna do? They're gonna screw up the third Spider-Man like they already did with freaking Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 got screwed up because Sam Raimi didn't get to do what he wanted to do. The Amazing Spider-Man 3 got screwed up by not being made because they screwed up freaking The Amazing Spider-Man 2 so bad. And they're gonna somehow screw up Spider-Man 3 for the MCU, not in the MCU. And it sucks because, Spider-Man in the MCU is something that's, cool. He's with the Avengers now. He's with all these other characters. He's not just him. And, there's a specific, enjoyment to having Spider-Man by himself because he's interesting enough of a character already by himself. He doesn't need to be around these other people. But now he's established with these other characters. And so it's like, no, you just can't do that. You just can't rip him out of this known universe that he's already in. Like, how are they going to explain Spider-Man not being there for the next Avengers or whatever? How are they going to explain Happy not being there because he's under the MCU? Like, are they just going to say, oh, Peter Parker can't make it today because Aunt May said so? Like, come on. Just let him stay in the MCU. But then again, Sony's doing a good thing by saying, hey, we can do this. We don't need Disney to make Spider-Man stuff. But then again, I don't trust them entirely just because of, hey, we made Spider-Verse. You can trust us, right? Well, that's because you let people do what they wanted to do. It wasn't you guys saying, we have to have this, and this because we want to make this big universe. Yeah, Spider-Verse is amazing. It's like the best Spider-Man movie. But I'm not going to trust them just because of that. Because they've had, people with the vision to make a movie that wasn't to, set up sequels. It was supposed to tell its own interesting story. And, I'm interested in seeing what they want to do because, that means Sony can make, their own Spider-Verse with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland with the Spider-Verse that they already have set up. But I don't know. There's new talks of a new deal where Disney gets 30% of the box office, but I don't think it's going to happen with everything that's just been going on. We don't live in a perfect world where Spider-Man can be the MCU and interact with all the Avengers and the X-Men, if that's gonna happen. But it's whatever. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I gave my take on that. What else should I talk about now? And I should really come in here with a list, like, hey, I'm gonna do yada, yada, and yada. Well, I did two things. I talked about movies I wanted to see. I talked about the Spider-Man thing. So what should the third yada be? Should I do a Q&A for next time? Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Actually, let me get a drink of water right now. Got water. I can't show the logo though.
Oh, can't show that.
I could show it, but it's not like, hey, buy this. And, I don't know. God, what should I talk about? If you're listening to this at this point, 34 minutes into the podcast, comment below what you want me to talk about next time. I don't know, it might be funny. I'll give my take on some things. I'll talk about things. But let's see. Let's see, I'm playing Halo. What can I talk about Halo? Halo Infinite, that's coming out next year. As I said that, some guy in the party was like, "What?" So, some guy heard me on the podcast, but you can't determine who it is because I'm not showing names or anything, because I'm not showing my gameplay. Maybe next time I should show gameplay. I'm gonna become a gaming YouTuber. I'm gonna be like Ninja, where I yell at kids. I don't know anything about Ninja. I wanted to talk about games or something. At one point, like, I don't know, show off my game collection. But I think I already talked about video games on another podcast. I talked about, what games I have, what games I want to get. But, it's whatever. Halo 5 is fun as long as you have Xbox Live. Because if you don't, there's nothing to do besides the campaign, and the campaign's boring. Because it's designed to be played with it's designed to be played with 3 other people. And big areas where you have to fight a million enemies, and your dumb computers won't help you because they're dumb. I hope I don't get sick. Allergies suck. Whenever I get allergies, I feel like I'm useless. Like I can't think because I got such a big headache. And coughing up all this crap in my chest. Freaking going through a bunch of cough drops so I can at least breathe properly. Oh, speaking of the seasons, went dove hunting some time ago. That was fun. Every season opener, me, family, we go dove hunting. Last year was cool. We got a lot of doves. This year we got nothing. We got like 2 doves. And my God, that was bad. So we're just sitting there just waiting. Some doves came in, but it was just a bad day. I've been a hunter for, I don't know. I've had my license since 2014. I took my test, and I got my license. Dad took me hunting. Fun, He taught me how to cook. My dad taught me how to cook. So whatever I know how to cook now, I got it from my dad. And he is the master of the grill, and I am his apprentice. But, he always says, "You cook a steak better than I can." I think I can, but, everything I know is from him. How to cook steaks, especially ribs. Ribs are the specialty of the Martinez household, of the Martinez name. In Stockton, you won't have better ribs than Martinez ribs. We just make the best ribs around. I can't find any good ribs around us. They all taste the same, or they're not good. And it's like, I can get this at, like, I don't know, a store. I can get this at a store and, like, I don't know, freaking I don't know, not defrost it. Just freaking microwave it. That's what, a lot of ribs taste like from places. Martinez ribs are the best around. To me. Everyone can say, oh, well, these ribs are better. Well, your opinion is wrong. Your opinion is wrong, and facts don't care about your feelings. Ben Shapiro does not care about your feelings. You guys like Ben Shapiro? I find him enjoyable sometimes. I haven't watched him in a while, though. I should probably get back on that. I don't know. I should probably get back to watching news. I haven't watched news in a while. I mean, if you see my last video, the last video I made, the me versus me, I liked it. It took a while to create. It didn't take that long to write. It just took a while to, get into a place where I can go, hey, let's film this. And I did it in a way so that there's two of me. In the same shot. God, why am I not talking? I did it so that there's two of me in the same shot. And I did it right here. But, you can see the line that divides the two shots. And it's really obvious. And I saw that while editing. I'm like, crap. I want to put it out tonight, and I don't want to go back for reshoots because I'm gonna have to, redo all my lines. And because the bed, you can see that the bed shifted a little just because of the bed shifted just because I moved on it, like the blankets and the pillow. It had to have been done a different way. But I'm proud of what I have because I found it funny. My family and friends found it funny. And there's nothing more I can ask for than my family and friends finding it funny. And I'm glad I can make people amused by it. But the whole joke of that was that, one Chris doesn't watch the news. And, he's just not interested. And for me, I'd love to watch the news more. But I just want to watch a place where there isn't a bias towards everything. Because no matter what, everything has a bias to it. Every news thing has a bias to it because they want to get that specific demographic in to get, money from the views with their crazy headlines. And I would consider myself more right-leaning. Oh, there goes my YouTube channel. I'm going to get demonetized and I'm going to have my YouTube channel taken down because I'm a conservative. Because I'm more right-leaning. No, I don't care. You take my channel down because of that YouTube. I'm going to go down to YouTube headquarters and stand outside with a sign. But anyways, I see myself more as right-leaning. Do what you will with that information. But, doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. No one's a bad guy because of their political views. Just depends on how they compose themselves. Or, I don't know, don't listen to me. I'm not trying to brainwash you or anything. Because you gotta be careful with what you say. But anyways, I just want a place where I can get the facts and that's it and have no bias towards it. Usually I'll read articles. I don't care where they're from. I'll compare them. Say, what's different? How are they worded? Should I keep talking about this? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Because I'm not a news channel. I want to make enjoyable content. I want to make funny things. I want to make things that make you think. I want to make people smile. I just want to improve my skills as a filmmaker. I'm not even a filmmaker. I make dumb videos on YouTube. But I want to be a filmmaker. That's why I'm here at college, learning all this stuff. Educating myself. Do you know what? It's It's gonna turn out good. I'm gonna make a film one day. I'm gonna make more films. You know, anyone who knows me knows that I want to make superhero movies, and that's been my passion. I want to write, and I want to make my own vision come true. I want to be out there, be in Hollywood, and I just want to have my name out there, and I want to make something good that people will enjoy. And I'll get there. I'll get there one day. It's gonna take some time, but what doesn't take time? What doesn't take time worth doing? Quote me on that and put me in your yearbook if you can. It's a dumb quote. I should be ashamed of myself. But anyways, what should I talk about now? This is what happens when you don't come in with a script or something to say, hey, I have an idea of what I want to talk about. I did, but I already talked about them. I should try to make this at least an hour long. Oh, let's talk about the GoPro that I got. I like the GoPro I have so far. Although I can't turn off the fish lens. I don't know how. I've tried looking at videos and stuff online, but I can't turn it off. For those of you that don't know what fish lens are, or fisheye lens, as it's called, it's when, the end of the videos are curved. So everything looks curved. As a fish. It's supposed to give you as much, things to look at as possible. And that's cool. But if I want to use this for filming purposes of, making skits, I should consider not having that. But then again, I can just use my phone. I filmed almost everything with my phone. The only thing I didn't film with my phone, are the video where I pretended to be Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Me versus Me Bananas. I had filmed that. With a Sony Handycam. It's a neat little Handycam. But anyways, so for now, whenever I'm gonna film something, make a skit, I'm just using my phone. Because that's all I need for now. I have a professor who always says, you don't need the fancy equipment as long as you have a good story to tell and you can tell it good and you can tell it in a proper way, then it doesn't matter what, equipment you have. And I can say that's, something good to stand by. Especially for kids who don't have anything, who just want to make, something enjoyable. Speaking of not having a lot of equipment, I saw Bamboozled for a class the other day. Bamboozled is a film that is directed by Spike Lee and is about a a writer for TV who has to come up with something new, and he wants to make something black, but his boss doesn't want him to write something about black people being successful because it's going to knock off other shows about black people, in like suburban areas. And I watched it and I enjoyed it, but it's I wouldn't want to call it a good movie. I don't care how it looks because it looks like, a video you see on YouTube from early 2000s, like 2007. I'm pretty sure that's late 2000s, from, the early YouTube days. But the story is what's most bothering to me. Um, so the writer decides, hey, in order to, get the show on air and, rile some feathers up, let's have the show be about blackface. These two black kids, not kids, these two black guys put blackface on them, make a minstrel show, and it'll be successful. No, he didn't want it to be successful at first. He wanted it to be so wild. He wanted it to be so wild that it would, start controversy. But then it soon devolves into, hey, the show is successful, and I'm successful, and I'm winning awards, so I want to keep making this. I don't know if it has, something to do with capitalism, but when was the last time like blackface was really an issue? I haven't, seen blackface being an issue in TV shows or anything for a while. I honestly don't know. Because if someone can tell me when the last time it was, I'd be more than glad to listen. But it just causes a problem on its own right there. It's making it an issue that wasn't an issue in like 2000. Was blackface an issue in 2000? Because, I didn't see any movies with blackface or anything. I don't know. It's gonna be messed up to say, but the best parts of the movie were the two characters performing the minstrel shows. I just found them more entertaining than the guy going around trying to make this show to rile up some feathers and his character arc. It looked like he had the best cameras and the best equipment to make the minstrel show stuff. And I'm not saying I enjoy minstrel shows. I'm not saying that I love blackface and I love being racist and love white people in blackface. No, it's just that those are the most enjoyable parts of the movie. I didn't like Bamboozled. That was the first Spike Lee movie I saw. How can you call yourself a film major? How can you call yourself a film lover or a film student if you haven't seen blank? I hate that stuff. Like, yeah, I don't have access to everything, okay? Leave me alone. Yeah, I haven't seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I haven't seen Casablanca. I have a freaking copy of Casablanca unopened. I'm gonna watch it eventually. Whatever, I don't care. God. I'll watch it when I watch it. But if I watch all the good movies now, what am I gonna be left with? Bunch of bad movies? I'll watch it. I'll watch them out over time, okay? So I'll watch the Hannah Montana movie at some point. Stop bothering me about it. I'll watch the Aladdin remake at some point, okay? I'll never watch the Lion King remake. Never. Eventually I'm gonna watch it at some point. No, I don't want to watch Aladdin. I don't want to watch Lion King. Just let me watch these great movies that are great at some point in time. I'll watch Casablanca. I'll watch, I'll watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. I'll watch, I don't know, The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. Give me time, okay? So, if I haven't seen a movie, if I haven't seen a movie, a specific movie, don't be like, how can you call yourself a blank if you haven't seen it? Leave me alone. It takes time to watch all these movies. I'd love to sit around and watch movies all day, but I can't. I actually could. I don't know. Then again, you have to find DVDs of these movies if they're not on Netflix or whatever. And I don't want to illegally download stuff. I'm a firm believer in, giving something its worth. I'm a firm believer in going to the movie theaters to see a movie and give it the money it deserves for a box office. And if you don't like it, then whatever. You already paid to see it, and you can say your word on it. But, think that's all I have to say about that. That was my Forrest Gump impersonation. Forrest Gump's one of my favorite movies ever. I want to make a video about my favorite movies. So at some point. But, Forrest Gump is one of my favorite movies. My favorite being... Oh, I won't tell you. You'll have to figure out when I make the video one day. But I'm pretty sure those who know me already know what my favorite movie is. What can I talk about now? I just want to talk. I like talking. People may not like talk. People like talking. They may not like me talking, but people like talking, and I enjoy talking. I love to talk. The best way to describe me is that scene from Shrek, when Shrek's in disbelief about how Donkey can just talk so much. That's me. I talk, and yapper away. Shrek's a good movie. Did you guys know that Shrek was the first movie to win Best Animated Picture? It beat out Monsters, Inc. and Jimmy Neutron, boy genius. That's funny. But that's just a fact that I know. That a lot of people know, actually. I think. People were mad because, animated films weren't getting recognition. Because they weren't getting nominated for Best Pictures. I think the only one to do so before was The Beauty and the Beast. And ever since then, there's only been like 3 movies to be nominated for Best Picture. Up, Toy Story 3, and something else. I don't remember what it was. I'll remember it at some point. But I think there was another film nominated for Best Picture that was animated. I was talking about this a while back. Oh yeah, I made a Reddit, by the way. Reddit's cool. I always wanted to know what it was. Or I knew what it was. I just didn't know, how people use it. If I ever had a question about something, I just look online and I'll be like, oh, there's a Reddit page about it. Let me look it up. Well, no, you can post your own things about it. It's not just like a Q&A, like, hey, what do I do with this? Someone answers. No, you post things about it. You join certain fandoms, and it's fun. I like it. It's enjoyable. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I had said, is there a way the Steven Universe movie can be nominated for Best Animated Picture? It'd be cool if it were to win, or even get nominated at the very least. Because, I think it deserves it, but, because it wasn't released in theaters, nor was it released in, Los Angeles for a premiere, it can't. It can't be nominated. And speaking of Best Animated Feature, Toy Story 4. Actually, that's another movie I wanted to see. I haven't seen Toy Story 4. I remember at first it was, I don't want to see Toy Story 4 because the original trilogy, the original Toy Story Star Wars trilogy was better. There doesn't need to be more. I'm thinking, there's no way they can pull it off. Toy Story 3 was a perfect ending. Toy Story 3 was so enjoyable. How could they make another Toy Story? And I'm thinking, I'm not going to watch it. And then the buzz came out. Then everyone was saying, it's really good, go watch it. So all of a sudden I'm thinking, I should go watch it. But I never got to watch it. And I really want to watch it. It comes out on DVD in a week or 2, I think. So when that happens, I'll get it at Redbox or something and I'll watch Toy Story 4. But that's going to win Best Animated Picture because Disney. Because Pixar. And apparently, there's not going to be any more sequels or anything to Pixar movies after Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 is going to be the last one, which is going to be relieving and scary to me. Because everyone knows Pixar. Everyone loves Pixar. Nobody hates Pixar. You can't hate Pixar. They've made classics. They've made Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc., Up, Wall-E. Wall-E is an amazing movie that I don't hear people talk about enough. They make all these great movies. And yeah, they've had their stinkers. Cars isn't that good. It's good, it's just not as good. Cars 2 sucks. I didn't care to finish Cars 3. Brave's kind of boring. I like Coco, but I liked it better the first time than literally any other time watching it after. It's still, a heartbreaking story about not being able to say goodbye. It's, it'll always get me. But the rest of the movie, it's like, it just seems so childish. Even though, it's made for kids, it's supposed to be that way, but they have mature themes. I don't know if I've talked about this already, but, I hate that argument. It's just a kid's movie. It's supposed to be dumb. But kids aren't stupid. Kids have been able to comprehend these complex themes before. Because Pixar has done that before. Pixar has been able to not be what they weren't supposed to be. And it's most evident with Cars. Cars 2, I mean. It just seems so childish. As in, like, let's make stupid potty mouth jokes. I don't know. I just hate that argument that it's for kids, so you can't say it's a bad movie because it's for kids. It kind of annoys me. Because it shouldn't be a kid's movie. It should be a family movie. Make them enjoyable for parents to watch with their kids. Don't just, say, let's not put any effort into it and make it as dumb as it can be. Like the Emoji Movie. I didn't watch the Emoji Movie. I've seen clips of it. And I don't want to watch it. I was against it. I was against the entire idea of the Emoji Movie. After seeing the first trailer. And I'm never gonna watch it so I can say I've seen the Emoji Movie to say that it's bad. No. I'm not gonna watch it. I will say that it is a bad movie without me seeing it. It just, God. The idea of it. The fact that the movie exists. A movie about emojis. Why? Why does that need to exist? And now there's gonna be a freaking a pop movie. Pops. The pop vinyl figures. There's gonna be a movie about those. Then there was a movie about Playmobil toys. You know Playmobil, like the weird Lego things that are like really tall. And it's all trying to round up the success of the Lego movie. Which no one's going to be able to replicate because it's just so unique. It's just a great idea with great people working on it. Chris Lord and Phil Miller are fantastic filmmakers. They have great ideas. They're expressing their ways. No one's getting in their way and stopping them. They worked on Spider-Verse. The Spider-Verse was amazing. But, I don't know. It's just another thing, let directors and people have their vision and work on it. Don't let money get in the way. Don't demean the value of a movie because it's made for kids and it's meant to be dumb. That's dumb. Like, I remember Trolls came out. I didn't like the idea of it. I watched it, and I didn't hate it, but I don't like it. because it seems very childish, and it has a nice theme, but I can't get past the dumb jokes, and I can't get past the childish humor. It doesn't present itself to be mature until later on. I don't know. I guess that's my rant on kids movies. Because it's just a kids movie. It's meant to be dumb. I've said it a million times. Kids are smart. Kids can comprehend feelings and things. Because Pixar has been able to do it for them before. And it's not just Pixar that's been able to do it. How to Train Your Dragon's a great movie. Chicken Run. Stop motion stuff's really good. Because people put effort into it. If you're not... Why put effort into stop motion? No, why make a stop motion film if you're not going to put effort into a good story? Because then it's going to be a waste of time. Because stop motion is one of my favorite forms of filmmaking because of how much effort is put into it. I think my favorite stop motion film is Chicken Run. And Chicken Run's just a great movie all around. I've enjoyed it as a kid. I watched it like some time back. And it's just really good. Stop motion is just really, really good. I love it. Wow, this is going to be the longest podcast. I can't believe people can actually do podcasts for hours. But that's because they have guests on. That's because they have, things to talk about. I'm thinking about bringing guests on, my roommates in particular. I remember I said, hey, I want to do a podcast. And I've told them, hey, I have a podcast, but what I want to do is because it's called The Slice, I want to invite guests on, get a thing of pizza, and I'll be like, hey, for every slice we eat, I'll ask you a question. And they said, sounds like Hot Ones. And I go, crap, it does sound like Hot Ones, so I'm not going to do it. But I might as well just do it because I already thought of it before I even thought about Hot Ones. Even though I knew what Hot Ones was prior to someone telling me that. Then I just like the concept because the slice, where I give you a slice of my mind. And I realized in the intro, I said a slice of my life. I meant to say slice of my mind, so don't comment, hey, you didn't say it. But who really comments on my podcasts? Who watches my podcasts? Nobody. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that watches my podcasts. I'm using the GoPro app to actually look at, me on the GoPro. How I look. It's a neat little tool. At least I got it to work. It wasn't working the other day. But anyways, yeah. So I think my first guest is going to be my friend Rodrigo. He has his own radio show called DJ Politico for Sac State here. And he mentioned me on his radio show, and I was talking to him before, like, hey, want to be on my podcast as a guest? And he said that'd be fun. I just have to find a good way to set it up so I can have both of us in, the same view. I need to have good questions to ask him. He should be willing to do it because he's a friend. And, he's like 2 doors down to me. We live in the same freaking apartment suite. That's what I want. All my friends on as guests. And I want to have them, do a big Star Wars review with me. I was thinking that we all are gonna watch the Star Wars movies in chronological order. 1, 2, 3. Solo, Rogue One. 1, 2, 3. Solo, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and have like a big conversation about it, and I put it up as a video because I think that'll be good, to talk about Star Wars before the next one comes out. You know, people do that. They talk about something. They talk about the rest of something before it comes out. People talk about the MCU movies before the next one comes out. They talk about all the Star Wars movies before the next one comes out. You know? So let me throw my hat in the ring. I did that with Being Puppy Cat, which I'm still waiting for season 2. I don't know when that's coming out. Nothing's being said. And I'm so excited for Being Puppy Cat season 2. What else should I say? I don't know what's gonna happen after the Steven Universe movie, because apparently there's still a season 6. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I think one other thing I wanted to say, I wanted to mention this while I was talking about Chris Lord and Phil Miller, or Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I don't know. Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I think that's it. Yeah, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I was actually watching a show that they made a while back called Clone High. It's a very funny and entertaining old cartoon. And it got canceled because of low ratings and India being mad about the portrayal of Gandhi. And the whole joke of it is that, all the clones, they're clones and they're not like the exact representation of what their historical figure was. And Gandhi is this party animal, and it's freaking hysterical. But anyways, I'm watching Clone High. I can't wait to finish it. I haven't seen it. I don't know. It's been like 3 weeks since I've watched it, but it's a short show. I just realized I was talking the entire time in this like in-game chat, so people are listening to me. Oh, they're the first ones to see the podcast. You guys aren't the first ones to see it. Whatever, I'm pretty sure no one cares anyways. Who even watches my podcast? Raise your hand if you watch my podcast. Comment below if you watch my podcast. Tell your friends about the Slice podcast. The best college podcast in the world. The only college podcast in the world. I'm stealing that joke from John Graham, but whatever. John Graham has the See Me After Class podcast, where he says welcome to the See Me After Class podcast, the only podcast in Canada. You won't be able to find another podcast in Canada. But it's funny, so I said it. Kind of tired, but I'm not gonna sleep. Who needs sleep? Life is so short and precious. Who needs sleep? I actually don't like sleep. I find sleep to be, bad. Even though you need it, it's just that, you have so much time in a day that why sleep when you could be doing something? And I hate sleeping in. I sleep in and I think, oh crap, I had all this time that I was sleeping, I could have done something. And why didn't I do this something? But whatever. It's whatever. I used to always, wake up at 6 every morning. Funny story. I used to always wake up at 6 o'clock every morning, no matter how late I slept. As a kid, I'd wake up, go into my parents' room, and ask if I can play the Wii. I was all ready and everything, and they'd go, yeah, go ahead. So I'd play the Wii every morning. I'd play Punch-Out for the Wii. That game was awesome. I should get a Wii. I want a Wii. I have a Wii back at the house. But I should get my own personal Wii and start over. I actually want to Switch. I still want to Switch. I'm going to get a Switch. When? I don't know. It's going to happen though. I'm thinking about getting a Switch Lite. Oh, speaking of, um, something I wanted to do was tell y'all about a job I applied for. The videographer job here at Sac State for an organization where me and a writer would have to make a monthly newsletter about students and faculty doing research, and we'd have to make it in a video, and I think that'd be cool. So I applied, got an interview, and yeah. And I'm still waiting to hear back from them. I'm gonna send an email, like, hey, did I get it or not? Because I don't think I was given a specific phone number. It'd be a small part-time gig, but then I'd get some extra cash in me. 'Cause, money makes the world go round. Money's good. Who doesn't love money? You can't buy pizza without money. So, you need pizza. You need money for pizza. Pizza's my favorite food. But then again, whose favorite food isn't pizza? It's just yummy. Anyways, I've heard what I was saying. I was talking about pizza and money, and that job. If I get that job, that'd be cool. 'Cause it's on campus. I get more experience. It's an internship. I get more experience, and that'll be great. It'll be fun. And also, the whole reason why I have this GoPro is because I'm gonna help film my dad and little sister while they go horseback riding. Help them figure out what they're doing. Or what are they doing when they're riding horses? I don't know all the terminology. They do though. And my little sister, she does so good riding horses. I've seen her practice a couple times. And I've seen videos of her, and she just does a good job. And doing this would be better to help her. My dad too, because he enjoys it. I don't know if I'm gonna ride a horse up. I don't think so. The whole thing doesn't entice me. But if I do, then that's cool. But to help film them would be good too. So that's the reason why I got this GoPro in the first place. Yeah. Anyways, so that'll be fun to do. More experience setting up cameras, editing things so they all come together as one. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of the Slice Podcast, where I give you an episode. No. I think. All right, let's start over. That's where I'm gonna end this episode of the Slice Podcast, where I give you a slice of my mind. I'm your host, Christopher Martinez, and until next time, where I provide you more content of this dumb podcast and more skits that I make of me being dumb, then that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. If you have, because this is these are gonna be long. These podcasts where I just sit down and just explain everything on my mind. So subscribe, like this video, share with a friend. Please listen. I like feedback. If you want to have feedback, tell me. My voice is stupid. Tell me everything. I don't care. Yada yada. I'll see y'all next time, and bye.